This episode of the Golf Gambling Podcast is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Underdog Fantasy has just added Pick'em Scorchers where you can win 100 times your money. That's right, turn $5 into 500 just by picking a few games. Plus, every Sunday, they're giving away $100,000. All you have to do is play and you're entered to win immediately $500. Pretty good deal. Use promo code SGPN for a $100 deposit bonus. Got a very special guest today. This is usually a show where it'd be the betting fantasy DFS show on a Tuesday or Monday night, but no golf this week, so we got to switch it up. I have a Nicholas Award winner, Haskins Award winner, first team All-American. Who wins the Big 12 Player of the Year and the Big 10 Player of the Year? Not many people can say they've done that. 2021 Collegiate number one, Newcomer of the Year, Chris Gotterup, and most importantly, Jersey Shore native. Chris, thank you for joining me tonight. Happy you're here.
Yeah, appreciate you having me. Thanks for having me. And sorry for my, little weak setup here, but figuring out my house here, but all good.
Yeah, he said he's bouncing from Oklahoma to Jersey. All good. So let's get right into this. I know you've done the Colton Osis podcast where they at the end of the thing they do the emergency nine where they ask you a few random questions. I'm gonna switch it up here. I'm gonna call this the short par four, just four quick hitters, not really entirely golf related. So let's get into it. You went to Oklahoma, you went to Rutgers, you've experienced games at both. What's the best spot to go after a win in Norman and in Piscataway? Just two bars. Where are the best spots?
Um, Norman is probably Logie's, kind of just casual and fun spot. I like going hanging out there with the guys. And Rutgers is definitely Queens, probably.
Queens is. I knew you were gonna say that. I am very familiar with Queens. Great spot. Great spot. All right. I said he's from the Jersey Shore. Another quick question. You got to rank these three bars: DJs, Jenks, Johnny Max.
Probably Jenks, DJs, Johnny Max.
Jenks is my number one bar. I totally agree with you there. Another college question. How was it transitioning your like Saturday fandom and tailgating energy from Piscataway, New Jersey to Norman, Oklahoma? That's a jump.
Yeah, to be honest, we didn't really get to go to a whole lot of games just because golf was in that season with football. So
True.
I just got to be a normal fan and watch on TV. And I honestly watched as many Rutgers games as I did in Oklahoma, that I did Oklahoma games. So now I have both schools to root for, so I can pick and
Hell
choose
yeah.
I can pick and choose who I want and what weekend. So it's a good problem to have.
Good problem to have. And finally, this is more of a golf question. What is the single, like off the top of your head, most unconscious round you've had? Like everyone as a golfer, even if you're a 20 handicap, has a round where you just feel like everything's going right. What is the single hand most unconscious round, whether that's on the tour or just playing with your boys?
Probably I don't know what year it was, but the Met Am at Arcola.
Okay.
Shot the course record there during the tournament, and I bogeyed the last hole too, and I shot 9 under, I think. And that course is not like it's not hard, but it's not like that easy. I was just on one.
Yeah, I'd say a course record will do it. So let's get into more of the interesting questions. We'll start it out. You just posted on Instagram. You played golf with Jim Irsay. Talk about that for a second. Like, how did
Yeah,
that come about? That must have been awesome.
yeah. So my agent is really good friends with him, and I don't know why they're good friends, but they are. And he wanted us to come out and play his course that he just bought. Um, so we went out and played. It's a par 71, 8,160 yards with a 725-yard par five. It's the most insane course ever.
What?
But yeah,
You
it
play
was.
good?
I played all right. I shot like 75. It's just,
That is ridiculous.
yeah, it's crazy. But
What?
yeah, it was a pretty insane weekend, and I'm officially a Colts fan now.
Who were you a fan of before that, if you don't mind saying?
I didn't have a team before, so it was
Really?
pretty easy. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right. Another golf question. We got to touch on the Tiger Woods Bridgestone commercial. Like, were the nerves through the roofs, or was it like easy going? You're just playing some ball with
Um.
Tiger. It's not like you were hitting regular golf shots. You were hitting stingers with the Stinger King.
Yeah. It was definitely. I don't want to say nerve wracking because I talked to him before, like when we were there in the morning and stuff, and I don't know. I'm not really one to get like really wrapped in, but that was different just because it's him and
Yeah.
he's like the reason why I play golf probably. But I'm happy it was a stinger rather than like drivers because stinger you just hit it as hard as you want into the ground.
Yeah.
For me, that's kind of how.
Still got you. Cut out. Just let it catch up for a second. We got you. You good?
Where do you want me to pick back up here?
No, you're good. So we basically, I just wanted one more thing about that Tiger thing.
Yeah.
Was it intimate or like was there like other people there? Because the commercial was obviously just you two.
Yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of people there. Like, the way it was done was so like it was basically me, Tiger, Jason Day, Lexi Thompson, Couples, Kuchar. I feel like I'm missing someone else, but
Just a casual group. Yeah, no big deal.
yeah, it's pretty wild. They have a pretty small like team, but it was pretty sweet. But yeah, the it was cool. You know, you have all the cameras and stuff, and all the people at Bridgestone. They're obviously watching all of us do our thing, but it was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a cool group to be a part of, that Bridgestone team. So a little bit, I feel like this is a good transition into the next question. Have you had that like wow moment on the tour? Like, oh my God, I'm playing golf next to this guy, or just I'm talking about like in a round. What your first one? Like, shit, I'm playing on the same course as X golfer. And if so, who was it?
Um, I don't know. I mean, when I played with Ricky, that was Sunday at 3 a.m. and that was pretty like, there was a bunch of people following us, and obviously because of Ricky. But I honestly have become like kind of friendly with some of these guys just through
Right,
whether it's Oklahoma or through my agency, and so I don't really get too like wound up in all these guys because they're really, I mean, other than Tiger, he's obviously different, but like
different level.
most of them are pretty normal guys. They're just good at golf.
Right, right. Sweet. So, Chris, you came from the Korn Ferry Tour last season. Talk a little bit about the Korn Ferry Tour grind, because it's a different style of golf. You got to get to 25 under damn near every week. You got to pedal down. And I know that doesn't always suit everyone's game. So, how is that playing just balls to the wall, birdie, 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 every hole style of golf, week in, week out?
Yeah, it's probably more mentally exhausting than anything. I mean, you really just have to like you have to bring it every week, like you said. You know, 20 under might not get you a top 10 some weeks, which is insane. And yeah, I mean, I think my style of golf is better for to win 12 under wins. But I think it's probably also for the best that I learned how to play this way a little bit too. With you know each week, you need to just let it rip. I'm definitely probably more of a conservative, aggressive, aggressively conservative player, but yeah, I mean, I'm happy I got through it all, but it was a long year, and happy to have some time off and just kind of refocus and resettle here.
Yeah, definitely a good year. Number one in driving distance. I think number seven in greens and regulation, and then in the top like 35 in putting, which is checking a bunch of boxes. You're definitely doing a lot of the right things, and you clearly made your way to the next tour. So, talking about the next tour, the PGA Tour, is there any courses or events that you haven't played yet that you're specifically looking forward to playing this X course or event?
Yeah, I think I'm excited. I mean, I haven't looked at the schedule too much, to be honest. I mean, I played all the summer ones last year. Travelers is great. That's one of my favorites. But I think out of the early ones that I know, I'm probably excited for Farmers at Torrey Pines,
Hell yeah,
just because
it's a
that
good course
course
for you.
that course is sick, and um, yeah, I like playing golf on the West Coast too. So yeah, that's probably my number one right now that I'm excited for.
We need you down in Palm Beach. We need you at the Honda, because that's my hometown event now. So that would be sick to see you there,
Sweet.
and the rest of the Florida swing. All right. So are you a goal setter? I know a lot of guys on tour set X amount of accolades or goals they want to set for a year. Do you have it, or are you more of like a go with the flow guy?
I'm not a goal setter. I mean, I have things in my head that I would like to do, and stuff like that. But I feel like I'm pretty like I don't need that to get motivated for what I'm doing. So I feel like I'm pretty good at getting fired up for each week and taking each week for what it's worth.
Sweet. So us as sports bettors, well, not us. I'm talking my guys at SGPN, super into the data, super into the trends. Do you have any like data analyst team or stuff like that? You're looking at stats. How often are you looking at strokes gained, stuff like that?
Yeah, I mean it's tough on Korn Ferry because the stats really aren't as good. I mean PGA Tour is next level stuff,
Right.
so it'll be easier to tell this year. But I mean for me, I've been playing so long and I know my game well enough to where like I can tell you like after a round I can tell you what is wrong and what is right and what I need to work on.
Right.
So it's little stuff like that, but with the PGA Tour next year, I'll definitely have a little bit more of a chance to dig deeper into some stats and fine tune some stuff.
Talking about like knowing your game, what would you say your biggest strength and biggest weaknesses in golf? Or you wouldn't say you had a weakness, you're a professional golfer, but obviously there's things you want to get better. Everyone does. Well, what was your thing you can rely on a bad day, and thing you need to like maybe get better?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's funny if you asked me that a year ago, my answer would probably be different, but I think right now my putting is probably my
Wow.
um, best aspect. It's one I've worked the hardest on, and I'm definitely still a good driver of the golf ball, but I got to work on that a little bit more. And I think for me, short game stuff is probably the most not difficult, but like I'm not as I don't feel like I can get up and down from everywhere at the moment. Like I feel like I
Right.
still have a very good chance, but there's definitely some room for improvement there.
That's good to hear that you feel like your putting is improving. Was your first few starts when you got those exemptions onto the tour? Was it super noticeable, like how much harder it was to putt on the PGA Tour versus like in a college event? Because I guess green speed stuff like that, was it a noticeable difference?
Um, no, because at Oklahoma, we were playing PGA Tour courses,
Right.
pretty much like so it wasn't too crazy. The only difference is you just have a lot more people watching you when you're playing for real on PGA Tour rather than college. But no, I don't think that was the. I don't think honestly, I struggled in school with putting too, and when I first came out, it definitely wasn't my strength. So I worked pretty hard on it, and I think it's obviously I think the stats show too, but I think it's in a way better place than when I first came out.
I mean, you won at East Lake in college. That's literally the tour championship. So like you know how it was done. All right. How did you think? I mean, you play golf your whole life. You grew up playing elite golf on the Jersey Shore, playing at Rutgers. Did you know that you had this skill set? Not necessarily being good enough. I'm saying like the bomber style of golf, the skill set to succeed in the modern style of golf. Did you think you had that or knew you had that?
Yeah, I wouldn't say like I knew it, in the way that you kind of said it, where like the modern golf game, like I didn't really care about golf all that much. I liked it, but like I played other sports, and I it wasn't my like priority in my life. But I always hit it far because I grew up playing at my course at home, and I was always playing with guys that were way older than me when I was younger, and they would hit it way further than me, and I would just probably try to swing as hard as possible to catch up to them. Um, so that's probably the main reason why I've learned. So I definitely, was a little out of control with it at the start, and I was able to hone it in a little bit. But nice to start that way and then work backwards, kind of thing.
So talking about the golf course at home, what's your I guess top 3 courses? Actually, I'm just going to say like favorite course in Monmouth and Ocean County cuz I want to keep it local.
I don't know what county it's in, but my favorite's Hollywood for sure. Um,
Hollywood, I've never even heard of that.
yeah, it's in Deal.
Okay,
It might be the best course in New Jersey that no one really knows
really?
about. That's my number one for sure.
Wow. I've actually it must be, is it super private? It's got to be.
I think so. We played a tournament there, and that's the only time I've really played it. But it's sick.
Sick. And also, I want to talk about your golf swing for a second, because if you're looking, even if you're not a golf swing guy, just or even a golf fan, you watch Chris Gotterup on the range, you can tell how much faster his lower half moves than like so many guys. Was it always like that, or when you were learning how to play golf, did whoever taught you like emphasize the hips, because fast, dude, fucking fast. So
Yeah,
why
yeah.
is it like that?
I don't really know. I wish I had an answer for you, but I don't like. I think it's kind of from lacrosse a little bit, because that's definitely a similar like kind of snap motion. Um, and I think it's kind of just like I said when I was young and I would just take the club back as long as I could. I needed to kind of snap my lower half to get the club back down. But I really don't even think about it.
Yeah, it's
It's kind
crazy.
of just a natural thing, and I definitely work out and do stuff for speed, but like I think it's kind of just you're born with it and you figure it out, or it's hard to I don't think about it, so I can't teach someone about it.
Yeah, you and Gordon Sargent have some of the craziest lower half movement I've ever seen. I'm sure you've seen his golf swing. It's like watching you two swing is unreal. Have you played with him before?
Yeah, we actually
Oh,
played a
in the
bunch of times.
NCAAs.
Yeah.
That was a fun one. All right, let's talk about the John Deere Classic final round. In the mix, nerves through the roof, or how was that experience?
um First hole, definitely nervous. um I think that course, I was pretty settled into it, and the last three holes, I was feeling it for sure, and definitely 18, just because that hole's so tricky, and then once I hit a great drive, I really drove it. I mean, I was driving it so good that week, I really wasn't that nervous. Anywhere I hit it, it was good. So makes the game easier that way. But yeah, I mean, definitely nervous, but I really didn't have much to lose, so that's kind of just how I rolled with it that week.
I don't remember if it was there or another course. It was a drivable par four. You put it to like 4 feet. I was like, "What the fuck?" That was nuts. What was I gonna say
Yeah.
about that event? Was it there?
I
Do you
can't
remember
remember.
if
I
it
hit it.
was?
I made an eagle there on a par four, but I made like a 60 footer.
Yeah, that was nuts. What was I gonna say about that event? I forgot. But let's talk about your U.S. Open experience because that must have been cool. How was that?
Yeah, yeah, that was crazy. That was. I mean, I'm trying to think. So I played in Canada, and then I played. It might have been. I might have gone from Canada to the U.S. Open. I think I did. So I missed a cut in Canada, and then I came down there and playing in my first major, and that was my actual first. The first cut I made as a pro was the U.S. Open. So that was definitely a huge, huge week
Hell
for
yeah.
me. Just kickstarting everything, but yeah, I mean the course was insane. I stayed with a family friend who lived right there, so it made everything super easy, and we had a lot of fun that week. I mean, we were going out to dinners in Boston, and it was pretty casual, which I usually play better when I'm like doing stuff like that, and
Right.
kind of more normal life. But yeah, it was. I mean, the amount of people there that were on Monday, it was 5, 6 people deep on a Monday practice round at 9
Right.
a.m. and I'm just playing with my friends. So um, yeah, it's a different animal, the U.S. Open for sure, and
Hell
the
yeah.
course was amazing. It was awesome, and a lot of my family and friends were there, so it was really cool.
What I was gonna say about that John Deere was I gotta say thank you. You cashed me a nice top five ticket, so
There you
that was
go.
awesome. Okay, a few more questions before we wrap it up because we don't want to keep you too long. You play with a lot of family and friends. You said, what's like the biggest tip or fault you see with amateur golfers, 12 handicaps that like is something that you could say like you guys are all doing the same thing. What can you fix?
I would say that I see a lot of guys like if they have 200 yards in and they can't hit the green. Like let's say you can get it somewhere up there, but like I would say there's a lot of guys that make double from green side and hitting it in a really bad spot than if you hit it to 80 yards out and just took your medicine, and worst case you walk out of there with a five or something. Kind of just more knowing when to take your medicine, and
Not doing too much. I feel
yeah.
you. All right, two more questions before we get you out of here. Hardest golf course you've ever played, with your friends on the tour, just the hardest course? What was it this past weekend? Like, what was the hardest course?
Yeah, it might have been. It might have been the past weekend, but honestly, the course I'm a member at now, Oak Tree National in Oklahoma,
Okay.
is top five hardest courses in the country probably, and um, if it's relatively windy, I don't know if there's a harder course in the country.
Damn. All right. Final question. Moment of truth. Where are you starting on the PGA Tour this season? Where will we see you on your first start?
As of right now, it's the Sony Open in Hawaii, which is like second week of January, maybe. I haven't looked at it too much yet, but yeah, I think that's the first one as of right now.
Sweet. Well, Chris, thank you for joining me. If you guys don't follow Chris on socials, definitely go do that, and you will definitely see him on leaderboards very soon. Dude hits it a mile, and he can make birdies. He's gonna have a great season. Chris, thank you for joining me. I really appreciate it.
You got it, Matt. Thanks.
Yep.